Hey everybody, welcome back. So it's been a few months since my last video, and quite frankly, it's been longer than I originally thought it was going to be. But I have just been heads down, laser focused on trying to get the train room up and running, and at least having one track running to be able to run some trains. And so I'm now happy to share with you today that we at least have one track here running on the new layout. The room, obviously the backdrop behind me, everything looks a lot different than my last video. But we're going to talk about some of the progress that's been made here since the last video. And of course, we'll end this video with some trains running for the first time in a long time. So let's check it out. So I want to give a special shout out to trains.com. Just a reminder, you can use my code EricTrainman to save $10 off your purchase of $50 or more. That's EricTrainman, all one word. Or if you've already used my code, you can also go to my bio and you'll see an affiliate link there, both here and on Instagram, that helps support the channel if you buy through that affiliate link. So maybe the first thing you noticed is these new backdrops. These are from Backdrop Warehouse, and actually I put these up before we had any decking on the layout space, and really before I had a lot of stuff in here. So there's a lot of trains in here and things now. This was a pretty open space when we put those up. And the reason I did that is I talked to a lot of friends that have put these backdrops up, especially some of these larger ones. Everyone says you definitely want to put them up before you put decking on your layout. So if you're getting ready to build a layout, that's an important tip. After you've got track laid, decking on, scenery, it's a lot harder to be crawling around and to try to get these 8, 10, 12 foot long backdrops up perfectly straight with good seams. They came out really well. These are pretty high quality images. As you can see, I went with a fall theme. Again, this is from Backdrop Warehouse. If you're considering backdrops, I would strongly recommend them. But I will warn you that it's a painful process. So they come pretty fast, but the ordering process and the website can be very difficult to navigate. But the quality of the product, I have not seen any better backdrops from any other vendor. So some short-term pain in ordering, but trust me, it's worth it. I think you'll be very happy with the quality of the images. I've got 3 of them up now. I do have one more that's going to go up on the far side over here, and that'll actually be removable. So I'll be able to put it up in sections when we're doing videos and photos and most of the time, but then also take it down so be able to see outside when people are over running trains and things, because it'll go right in front of those garage doors. All right, so next I thought we would talk about benchwork. Not the most exciting thing in the world, but I thought we would just walk around and kind of show you what the main line looks like. Again, I don't have a track plan to share with you here today, but you can get a sense. There's not really a lot of track that's going to go on the layout that isn't already kind of at least sitting in place. So 2 main tables. I was okay with a complex build here. I really wanted like some cool over-under shots, some changes in elevation, wide curves, and ultimately that meant a little bit more complex build than some of my layouts in the past. And that was perfectly fine. That's part of the reason why it took so long to get to this point. Chris from Chris's Trains and Things has been tremendously helpful in the design of this layout. So he actually designed most of it. I just gave him what I was looking for, made some tweaks, and that's where we ended up. So the grades are no more than 2%. There's one spot where we've got an 080 minimum curve. Everywhere else it's 088, 096. Again, there's not really a lot of track that's on the layout that isn't where there's going to be like an extra siding or something. Most of what you see, other than some spots on the main where I need to lay some track, there's not really a lot that's missing. So this is going to be a diesel shop. So I'm going to get the Altitudinum Model Works diesel shop or car shop. I'm not sure. Kind of cut a piece of cardboard here for sizing just to try to figure out what I'm going to do. This will be a logging mill. There'll be a huge mountain here in the middle, and then the trains are on the outside of the mountain. Maybe the only thing in the track plan that's really missing is there's a third level. So there's a logging loop that's going to be, probably 18 inches or 2 feet off the main table, and we'll run from this mountain over to this mountain in like a dog bone style, and run back and forth in a loop. So obviously that's not shown. I'm a ways away from building that, but otherwise, really the track that you see laying here, even if it's not just sitting here, is kind of the general flow and what the final layout will look like. So maybe the only thing that you don't see from an eye level perspective that's here is the under layout, reversing loop, and storage. So there's a nice long ramp here that is about a 2.5% grade that drops from the main table down underneath.
So one of the things
has a
that I
reversing
have
loop,
changed
an
since my
additional
original
storage
track
track,
plan is the
and
use
then
of
switches
number
over
6 and number
to
8
what will
switches
be
instead of the
5
smaller
additional
number 4s
storage
from
tracks.
Ross. So everyone told me that I should do this. I said, no, I have a bunch of number 4s already. I probably have 50 of them. And then as I started laying them out, I said, actually, the bigger switches would look much better with big articulated engines rolling through them. So that is the route I went, and found a bunch of these on trains. I picked up some from York. I got some others from Ross directly. And so now everything that is on a main line has a number 6 or number 8 switch.
All right, so I wrapped up filming this video and then realized that I didn't talk about this elevated section and the big piece that's missing here that I haven't built yet. So let me give you some insight there quickly. There's a switch back here that's a number 6 switch that goes to a curve, then to this 3-way switch where that's placed. That will break out into 3 tracks with 2 station platforms that are probably 4 or 5 feet long each. The tracks themselves will go all the way to the end of the layout, and will ultimately go over the elevated section there. So all these tracks will be under a tunnel here. Probably a tunnel entrance here or thereabouts. There'll be a station here to kind of go with the station platform and the passenger cars that are in here. But these were designed so that I can put roughly like 10 car passenger trains, just pull them right in here, pull them out quickly, get them on the main. I like having some of those, colorful sets and things. They take up a lot of space, but they're always crowd pleasers. They're fun to run. And I like some colorful passenger trains. So I have like a Blue Goose set, an East Wind set, a bunch of local PRSL and Reading, Pensy stuff that I love to be able to run more often. So the idea is that it's on the table. I can pull it off quickly, run it, park it here, and it kind of fits with the whole station theme as well, so that the scenery isn't just mountainous. The only other thing since the last video where we've made some progress is these shelving units. So I started building this one. You can see I've got the outside frame there. Everything's painted. It's ready. Behind that paper is plexiglass that's already pre-cut. So we'll have an upper section and a lower section here with Glenn Snyder shelves. And that's actually what I'm going to be focusing on next. Now that I at least have one main line running, I want to get at least this unit done, be able to get some trains on the wall so I can run some trains to get a little bit more access to them. And then we'll go back and finish the second main line. Okay, so I could blab on here about the layout and train room and some of the progress that's been made, but I think maybe the best thing to do is just run some trains. We'll take some shots of stuff running under the bridges, over the bridges, kind of around, and you can get a sense for what the layout looks like and feels like while stuff is running. And quite frankly, that gives me an excuse to run some stuff.